Hey, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Welcome to Hey, Julie, a podcast about it being very deep into July and us not having Big Brother yet.
Before we start, I'd like to say I'm ending this podcast because I'm going on strike in solidarity. I am not in the WGA. I'm not in SAG, but I support the striking workers. I hope they get what they want.
You're in the DGA,
Yeah,
Danny
I am.
Gibson Association.
Yeah, one person, but I really protect my members. I did see that they're not supposed to be doing podcasts, probably like promotionally, right?
I think they're not supposed to be doing promotional stuff. I think someone actually like hinted at this in their Discord and you responded. We are going to get an onslaught of celebrity podcasts.
Oh my
If
God.
2020 wasn't bad enough with every single person who has ever been on a sitcom being like, let's rewatch Elf. Let's rewatch Cheers together. Let's rewatch John from Cincinnati together.
Wow.
We're getting more of it now.
Well, remember when COVID hit and all the famous people were like alone in their houses and they were like, what do I do? Why don't I make content? Like, why don't I make some videos?
People.
That's what's going to happen. Or I really remember Vanessa Hudgens. Vanessa Hudgens like went live, or she did a video where she was like, I think she was upset that Coachella was going to get canceled because of COVID. And she was like, I just don't understand why we have to like stop our lives. Because at the end of the day, yes, some people are going to get it and they're going to die. But that's inevitable. Like, she was just like so peak celebrity, out of touch.
Would it be surprising to tell you that I have no idea who Vanessa Hudgens is?
You don't know who Vanessa Hudgens is?
If I was sitting next to Vanessa Hudgens on an 18-hour flight, I would be like, hello, ma'am.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Would you I'm getting up to go to the bathroom now. Would you like to go as well?
That is surprising because she's been famous for a long time. She's been famous for a long time.
No idea.
She's even done Broadway, Brett.
Oh, okay. Was she in Funny Girl for a minute?
No, she was in Gigi.
Gigi.
I saw her in Gigi. I got discounted tickets.
That sounds like a real hot ticket. We have so much to talk about today.
Oh, so much.
So little time. Oh, which reminds me, I got to add the Wonka trailer onto my little post.
Oh,
Wonka trailer.
God.
I saw Mission Impossible 7.1 yesterday. There's some spicy, salty, sour Bachelor news. Jonah Hill was doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Dani, did you watch Wimbledon? Do you have any
the
thoughts
movie
on
starring Kirsten Dunst and the guy who plays Vision?
Yeah.
Paul Bettany. No, I haven't watched any Wimbledon.
Jennifer Connelly's husband.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched any of the actual. I didn't even realize it was on until I checked my phone. I've been busy at parties. Okay, I'm a party girl. I've been at parties.
I ended up watching it all morning. There was like a 5-hour match for the gentlemen's finals, and it's just a fun watch because it's hot in England, and everyone's wearing a suit, and they're all like trying to be really well behaved. It's just very funny looking.
It's very hoity-toity.
Thoughts to fire off. Okay, I'm gonna cross that out. No, Dani has no thoughts on Wimbledon.
You want to talk about the movies?
No.
Johnson, Paul Bettany.
No, I haven't seen it.
Or we could talk about Challengers, the new tennis movie coming out with Zendaya and those two guys, where they, I assume, have a threesome.
I'm not. Is this a Sam Levinson joint or
no? It's a Luca Guadagnino.
Okay, yeah, then for sure, there's
got to be something exciting.
Yeah,
absolutely. It's a very horny trailer, so I'm all in.
Yeah, no, I haven't even seen the trailer yet. Let's go to movies. Let's go to movies.
Well, do you want to discuss? Yeah, you went to Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
I sure did.
Tom Cruise made sure he got all of his promo out of the way before the SAG strike hit. So
I love my popcorn movies. Popcorn.
Popcorn, yum, 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 popcorn. I would love to know your thoughts because I've actually seen some mixed reviews.
I would agree with the mix. I would say this is a mixed film. Not gonna overly spoil the film that just came out, but I went to the Universal City Walk last night to see Mission Impossible 7.1 in theaters on the IMAX on the big screen, just like Tom Cruise wanted me to.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like, it brings me no joy in saying this.
Right. We're not haters sometimes.
We are haters. We're very much haters. It brings me no joy in saying this. It's kind of over. It's over.
Wow,
it's
your
over for Tommy
Dead Reckoning is dead?
Did I have a great time for 2 hours and 45 minutes? I sure did. I laughed. I held my breath as Tom Cruise jumped off of mountains. God bless you. God bless America. I had a good time. I laughed. It was fun. There were car chases. There were train chases. There was jumping on
plane
stuff.
chases.
There was
yeah, sure.
It was gun chases.
Yeah.
This movie was not very good. And for
Where'd
the
they
first
lose you?
time, what?
Where'd they lose you?
Danielle, have you heard of AI?
Oh, I have, but I wish I hadn't.
A lot of things lost me. It was just it was a lot of stuff there. I mean, there was a very enjoyable but a little bit eye rolly scene. Like there's a very, very cheesy scene in the beginning where, like, you know, a bunch of suits at the Pentagon are talking about the newest impossible mission that needs to get done, and
right.
There's a couple cameos in there, and it's very tongue in cheek, and I'm like, okay, all right. Like, these movies are fun and funny and self aware, but I'd never seen them be this self aware before. It was like almost like a sort of Austin Powers 3 parody of itself a little bit.
Or like the Avengers, like Joss Whedon, too much.
A little bit. What was also just really interesting, I'll say in a general perspective, I know Tom's out there saying, I'll jump off whatever building you want. I'll jump off of the moon. Whatever you need me to do, I'll do it. And that was me. And that was me doing it, not a stunt actor. Yeah. And I'll find the one director, Christopher McQuarrie. I will have him sell his soul to make sure that he's always, he lets me do all this stuff, and he'll always be the director of these films going forward, because I don't want to work with any other collaborator. This was the first time I felt that they were actually covering for Tom's age.
Oh, how inevitable.
Yeah, like there's a sequence in a sandstorm where everybody's wearing a hat and a mask and glasses and stuff, and it's like,
yeah,
it could be anybody. Could be anybody there. There's a chase sequence where Tom isn't driving the whole time. Tom's kind of backseat, and it's like it's part of the playfulness of the sequence that he's not driving this time. There's there are two fight sequences that happen at the same time in the film. One where two characters are fighting, and it's a very choreographed fight that goes out of its way to show you all of the moves that all the people are doing. And meanwhile, Ethan Hunt is stuck in another situation in a really, really tight quarters fight where it's really small and you kind of can't really see anything. It's all quick punches and stuff, and everybody's in this really, really tiny space. So you don't get to see, Tom isn't throwing any big kicks or doing anything. Right. It's so close.
You don't want to pull anything.
So there was just a lot of little things like that where I'm like, Tom's not gonna, I don't know.
What can we expect? What can we really
I know
expect?
He's like 65 years old. I love Tom Cruise. I love Tom Cruise. I've been saying this for a few years. Tom Cruise, and now more than ever, needs to do a movie where he has adult children.
Yeah. I mean, he's 60. He's 60.
He's 60. Again, like, he needs to start doing granted, he's going to have fun doing these action movies and stuff, but there was just a lot of, I don't want to spoil it for people, because a lot of people are going to see this movie. They're excited about a movie. It really didn't work for me. Just lots of the mechanics. It felt like a freaking soap opera at times, with how many like double and triple and quadruple crosses, and oh no, you're wearing a mask. Oh
Right.
no, I'm wearing a, like, it was just so much of it, and it felt, and you have this AI, like the bad guy is an AI. Kind of.
Okay, like he's a computer?
Yeah, well, he has like a human who like does his bidding, played by
Oh.
Isai Morales, who's very good in it. He's quite handsome, if you
Never
must say
heard
so.
of him. Where's he
You would
from?
recognize him. You'd
Okay.
recognize him. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't even tell you. But he's good, but it's just a lot of like spiritual AI, like, oh, like it is so it is written by the AI that will like, oh, shut up. Let's blow things up.
Yeah. What about like Haley Atwell? What's her character?
This movie was a bit of karaoke of like other things from other Mission Impossible movies too, which also kind of, she's new, so she's a new character. So like, what I'm trying to say, I'm leading to another point with something that I kind of didn't really like about it, is like there was a lot of callbacks to other Mission Impossible movies. I mean, you all seen the trailer. There's like a fight scene on a train. That's the final like sequence. Like there's some really awesome stuff in that. Call back to the first Mission Impossible movie. There's a few other callbacks and like major characters from the first Mission Impossible movie. You know, if you've seen the trailer, you know who I'm talking about. There's other stuff. The Haley Atwell character was interesting because I felt it was their attempt at redoing what they wanted to do in Ghost Protocol, which is set up Jeremy Renner as like the next Ethan Hunt. And this was like 15 years ago at this point. They are very much setting up Haley Atwell as like potentially like the new lead of this series.
Yeah.
She's like, she's a spy. She's a thief who only works for herself, and she's got to clear her name. We've seen this in a million movies before.
Sure.
So she's like a thief who somehow who's just trying to clear her name and get free, gets wrapped up in all the nonsense that's happening in this movie. And by the end of it, sort of realizes that it's her destiny to become like an impossible mission girl. And felt very much like they did a bad job of it in Ghost Protocol, where it was like, hey, Jeremy Renner's here. He's an action star. Remember the Hurt Locker? He's going to be the new Ethan Hunt. And it like never really happened, and it kind of didn't work. And like you could tell it didn't work as they were writing it. Like in the movie, it wasn't working. This was like they set it up. They did a much more simplistic but more clear job of establishing like, hey, a new young face to lead this. Not that, and I'm not saying Haley Atwell is old or anything. She's beautiful. No, she's amazing. But like, she's not. I doubt she has to be in her 40s. I would guess. Like, I don't know why she would be being set up to be like the new face of this franchise. Whatever. It was fine. Like everything else in this movie, it was like enjoyable to watch, but didn't totally work for me.
And what about like the other female leads? Because it's her, it's Rebecca Ferguson, and it's the girl from The Crown, Kirby. Vanessa Kirby.
Yeah, well, Vanessa Kirby and Rebecca Ferguson have been in these movies before.
Yeah.
So Rebecca Ferguson is like another attempt at like, oh, there's another spy who like maybe has a thing with Tom Cruise, but is in the team now.
Right.
So she's just kind of reprising her role as that. Sorry, your daughter has some thoughts on this as well.
She's leaving.
Vanessa Kirby is like sort of, she was introduced in the new movie. She's almost like a spiritual like reboot of the arms dealer, like the sexy arms dealer character from the first one, old lady one.
I don't remember. But wait, because I thought of a question, and I do want to. Does Tom actually kiss any of these ladies?
Tom does no kissing.
No kissing. There's no.
So there's all these women in these movies, and there is no romantic anything going on. There's like a couple like sustained hugs. There's like a part where Rebecca Ferguson and Tom Cruise are like having a convo, like looking out at the Venice skyline, all those famous buildings in Venice with their huge skyscrapers and all those things. And just the way that they're like standing next to each other, she comes up and like hugs him. He's like leaning forward off the balcony. This is for the YouTube viewers. He's leaning forward, belly facing out towards the balcony. And then she comes and hugs him for the side. And then he turns around to face her. And then she's like kind of hugging him from the side with her hand on his belly.
Okay.
Very intimate, what I'm saying. It's like the way, I don't know, it was very intimate.
It doesn't sound that intimate.
No. Well, the hug was weird. I'll say the hug was weird.
It sounds highly choreographed.
The other actress I want to highlight here is Palm Clementif. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing her last name. She's in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and she's very funny and good. She's like a great actress.
Yes.
She was in one of the Black Mirrors from last season as well. And I'm like, oh, cool. She's in this. She's very good in the Guardians movies, and very funny. And they like, she's just, lots of action movies do this thing where they have like a foreign character who like says no words because like they don't speak English for some reason, or maybe the actor doesn't speak English, but they're like an action star in a different country or something like that. They're just kind of like the muscle and they don't say anything. So she was this in this movie, but it's like she's one of the main characters in the freaking MCU and like does a lot of like wordplay comedy stuff in those movies, and she's just like grimacing and like she has like 4 lines in French and she's just like cordon bleu Ethan Hunt. Like that's
you know, she's also not French from France. She's Quebecois.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
That's why they have her speaking French. I didn't know.
Quebec
I didn't know.
City.
Whatever. All this to say, she doesn't do anything in this movie other than just like glare at the main characters at various times and like try to punch them. And it's just like, it felt like a bad use of her because she's a very funny, good actress and other stuff. And it was just like,
it's a long, bloated movie. Sorry, go ahead.
Remember, what's her name? Ruby Rose or something like that?
Yeah. She was supposed to be Batgirl.
Batgirl. They put her in a bunch of these movies, and everyone was like, she might be the worst actress ever alive. And like,
she was in John Wick too.
She was in John Wick too, and she had like 2 lines because like they brought her on.
She was supposed to be like Lady John Wick, I think.
Yeah, and like they kind of slowly wrote her out of the movie because she was like a very bad actress. It was kind of like they did to her what they did to Palm Clementif, what they did to Ruby Rose. It was like, but she's good and stuff. Like, why are they doing that? This actress is good and like carries more fucking successful franchises than Mission Impossible. So interesting. It just all was like, it was fine. It just kind of all rubbed me the wrong way, and I wasn't very excited. I'll be there next summer to watch Dead Reckoning 2. I just wasn't a fan. I wasn't a huge fan of this one.
Yeah. I'll see it and I'll probably see it on big screen because you got to see the stunts and the action set pieces on the big screen. I'm sure Tom Cruise would say popcorn yum, but I can't say I'm that excited. And now people are really going to not like this, but I'm not sure if I'm trying to really not be a hater of Barbie. I'm trying really hard, but
this is the second time I've heard this in 24 hours.
I think the movie's actually going to be fun. I do think it's going to be fun. But I got hit with too many, like, this movie was made to just sell other shit feelings. Yeah. Like, when Flo from Progressive was allowed on the red carpet for them, it was like, thank God, actually, for the actor's strike. And that the movie is coming out, I guess. But it was reaching peak. It was too much. I couldn't escape. It was Barbie everywhere. I've only seen a couple of clips from the movie. And the clips that I saw, one was like a knockoff from Barb and Star. It was Ken singing a song sadly on the beach. But I'm like, that's from Barb and Star. They already had a himbo sing a song on the beach. So
this movie looks like a carbon copy of Lego Movie. Like,
well, I'm not sure. I don't even really remember Lego Movie. But
Lego Movie Will Ferrell plays like an evil CEO, and I think his name is like literally like CEO Evilman or
He's
something
the
like
dad.
that.
Yes, and he's in this too. Yeah.
And he's in this too, like in the trailer, playing the same thing of like, oh no, we have to get Barbie back to in her Barbie box or something like that. And it's like, Lego Movie did very well and is a pretty good movie. You're the second person who's told me this in
I'm not a hater.
2 days.
I'm not a hater.
That they're like, I'm not out here to yuck anyone's yum, but they were feeling, and you're feeling, sounds like, a little bit, you're cooling on all the Barbie love. And
it's
we're
like
a
the
week out, and like
placement was really yucky to me.
Yeah, like we're a week out, and we should be crescendoing in excitement for Barbie. And I think there's like a bit of a Barbie backlash happening 1 week in advance.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it. I want to see it. And I'm hopeful it's good. I like everyone in it. I like Greta Gerwig. I guess I just was like, ugh, it's just selling stuff. And that kind of bummed me out. Like, of course, every movie is selling stuff in a way. But just like when Flo from Progressive showed up on the red carpet and like Duolingo, I don't know. I was like, must I be hit over the head with clear like
Duolingo
brand? Yeah, you know, like the Duolingo.
Dua Lipa.
No, Duolingo. The creature.
The app?
Yes.
The app that's like Donde está la biblioteca?
Yeah, what is that thing? That big green thing.
You don't
know whatever animal that creature is. It's a bird.
It's a bird, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the bird from Duolingo. Why are they always birds? Twitter, Duolingo, Captain Crunch's parrot.
Tony the tiger. Why are they all birds?
There is a bird. Follow your nose. What about that guy?
Toucan Sam.
Yeah. Why are they always birds? So I'm just saying that part bothered me, but luckily that's over. So now maybe it'll be fine. I'm still going to see it. I'm going to see Barb and Oppie. I'm seeing them both. Don't worry.
Are you seeing them since the same day?
No, I don't. I'm not able to do that. I have responsibilities, unfortunately.
You're not a 35-year-old single man.
Have you bought your tickets already?
Oh yeah, I'm going on Sunday. I'm going a week from today.
Next Sunday.
Seeing both on the same day, like a real American patriot.
I know.
I'm doing Oppenheimer. I think this is the correct viewing. Oppenheimer in the afternoon. I mean, it's like 90 degrees every day.
Yeah.
3 hours of sustained air conditioning.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer, mid-afternoon showing. Get out, still light out. Quick dinner, 90-minute dinner break. Back in for the 7 p.m. Barbie.
Fab.
Yeah.
Where are you going to go get dinner in between?
I don't want people to know where I'm going. I'm going to.
Chipotle.
No, I haven't made plans, but I'm going to a theater complex that has many dining options.
Okay, great. I didn't know if you were going to try to keep it on theme at all.
What? Like I was going to go to Cheesecake Factory, but that plan has been struck.
There's too much a wait for Cheesecake Factory. You can't go there.
Exactly. I know. Yeah.
You're going to be on a time crunch. Okay. So I just wanted to flag that. I read this thing about Diablo Cody because she was originally going to write the Barbie movie, and she was like, "It's a good thing I didn't." And I just thought I really like Diablo Cody, and I was like, whatever happened to her? I mean, she does write movies that get made every once in a while.
Academy Award winner. Well, she's on strike.
Oh, she's on strike. That's everyone's excuse.
Columbia Studios.
You know what the problem is? These people don't get up and work.
She's on Melrose Ave right now with the picket.
Good for her. All right. Well, just Dani's Barbie thoughts. Okay. I messaged Brett because speaking of strike, everyone's on strike, so we're not getting any new scripted stuff for a while. We don't know how long. We don't know how long Bob Iger and David Zaslav are going to keep these people on the picket lines. But we know that we're not getting new stuff, except unless it's filmed and edited and in the can, it's all going to have to be new unscripted stuff. Like a little show called The Golden Bachelor, which I sent to Brett. And Brett, you have watched regular Bachelor, no?
We've covered an entire season of The Bachelor on this podcast with you. You were actually there for all of them.
Which season?
The Nick Viall season.
We did?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I should go back and listen to that.
I will not. So I have been saying this for a number of years. There needs to be old Bachelor. And you sent me that was a Pop Crave, your favorite Twitter account.
My favorite source of information.
They said that on Monday, ABC is set to announce the first ever Golden Bachelor. The Bachelor spinoff will follow an older gentleman in his quest to find love late in life. I love this idea. I brought this up to many friends this weekend. No one was hot on it.
Wow.
I have not watched Bachelor really in a bit here. I have not watched Bachelor in a bit here. I think we watched that Nick Viall season. I might have watched like part of another season after it, and I was like, no. It's hard because the first episode kind of sucks. Because like everyone's doing their bit. You're like 30 people come out of the limo and they're like, I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. They're a bird. And I am watching this season. Maybe I won't watch the full season. I have respect for myself. If I don't want to watch it, I won't watch it. But I haven't watched an episode of The Bachelor in quite some time, and I am in for this season. Make it interesting. I don't want to see like 25-year-old dental hygienist from Newport Beach fighting over some guy who's like not really that interesting.
No.
That sucks.
I agree. Suck. There are more stakes. There are inherently more stakes when they're just like a lot bit older. I asked Brett, I was like, how old is Golden? And it seems, I thought The Bachelor was going to be like 44 because to them, that's old. To
Matt
the
May in our comments right now says in the live chat on YouTube says, if he's in his 40s, I'm jumping out of a window.
Right.
Parentheses, don't worry, I live in a one-story house.
But I thought that that's what it would be. And Brett seems to think it's going to be a 65-year-old.
I don't know what it's going to be. I don't have any. It might be a guy who's like 47. I think.
But all the girls will still be
what are your golden years? What age is your golden years? And the first thing on Google, so I stopped reading after that, said 65 and older is what's considered golden.
I mean, so, Tom Cruise should be the Bachelor.
Yeah. Here's the thing. This person, like Tom Cruise, needs to have adult children.
Yes.
Adult children.
Ungrateful adult children.
Hometown visits. There needs to be a 31-year-old there, possibly with a child of her own, being like, Dad, what the fuck?
Yeah. I don't trust these women. Like, they're not here.
Who is this woman? This could be really quite
groundbreaking.
I could say like quite disastrous. Like we know the political beliefs of many of this nation's boomers.
Yeah.
So like it could like spin off in a really sad direction, really troubling, disgusting direction that I don't want to watch very quickly. Like if you are getting 63-year-old ladies from the villages in Florida, like, I don't know.
They're not going to be his same age. They're going to all be like, if he's 65, the women are going to be like 40.
I think there's going to be a mix.
Yeah,
I want to see a woman who's older. If he's 65, I want to see a 72-year-old woman there.
Yeah, but you want to see someone on like a walker.
I want to see a lady with like a kind of Q-tip curly hair.
And glasses with the chain.
I want to see people going on dates and they're like trying to be,
and they're like, it's too loud here.
And then it's just like, and then he's like looking at the menu. He takes out his glasses and he's like, does this to look at the menu. I want to see them like have like an intimate date, but like they both fall asleep like instantly. Like I want all of this stuff that we've never seen on The Bachelor. It's going to be great.
We've never seen anywhere. Well, you know what's so funny is like Golden Bachelor is going to be the same age almost as the ladies of And Just Like That. It's just going to be ABC's version of And Just Like That.
Get in on it. Get in on it.
I'm
Everyone loves
happy.
it.
I support it. I can't wait to watch. I mean, I did see someone say, sorry to bring it back, but someone tweeted a picture of Jon Voight in Mission Impossible 1 and a picture of Tom Cruise in this Mission Impossible. Because they're the same age.
Oh, Lord.
People are just refusing to age the way they used to.
I think Tom Cruise is refusing to age.
The way he used to.
My body is aging just like every other human body is aging.
Did you use the filter, the aged filter on TikTok, Brett?
No. Oh no, I can't. No, I can't. I would be messed up for like 12 days.
It's so upsetting.
How does it work with facial? Also, like lots of those filters like are weird because I have facial hair.
Oh, it'll account for it probably. I don't know. But like, obviously I don't have facial hair, so it didn't impact me. But it's like, you just are like, oh, I'm hideous. Like, and I don't think I am going to be hideous. So I just like refuse the entire thought of the filter. I refuse it. I reject it. I expel it from my life. But it is very funny to see.
Yeah, I
think everyone uses it. It's like, oh, it won't be so bad for me because I'm hot. Well, at least that's what I thought. But then I used it, and it was disgusting. Like, they changed my teeth to be like yellow and ripped.
You have ripped
up like little chimneys.
Ripped.
Yeah. No.
You can control that. You can control that stuff. You have,
I believe
you have marvelous chompers.
Well, isn't that the folly of life though, Brett, to believe we can control our futures?
Brush and floss. Go to the dentist.
I already do that.
You're not going to have bad teeth.
All right. Thank you. They made me look sickening, in a bad way.
No, I guarantee whatever. I have a hard enough time like looking in the mirror, looking at myself right now, talking to you on a computer screen. I have enough issues with that and my own like body image right as it is. I know if I were to watch like an AI generated, like somewhat realistic photo of myself 35 years from now, Matt May, I'd jump out of a window. I'd jump out a 1-story window. I couldn't handle it. I
It's upsetting content. I will just say it should have a flag on it.
I would let teenagers roast me before I would see a photo of my old self.
And by old self, you mean yourself from the future, not yourself when you were 25.
Yeah, my old self. Obviously, myself from the future. Grammar.
Speaking of... There's no way for me to tie this in, actually. I just wanted to talk about Hijack. There's no way to tie it in. Hopefully, we all live to take our next flight. Now, let's talk about Hijack on Apple TV Plus, which I first watched. I watched because I was red hot on Luther, the Fallen Son. Say what you will about shows about serial killers, and Luther is always about like the most disgusting, freakish killers, and they do a really good job of making them actually quite scary. I'm not surprised you don't watch it, Brett, because it's scary even for me. But Idris Elba.
What? Luther is scary?
Yeah, it's scary. Like
it's always a cop show.
Yeah, but he's capturing like these really freaky killers. Like they can't just kill someone. They have to have, it's like Saw. It's not gory like Saw, but it's like they all have elaborate schemes. It's very British, it's very Lewis Carroll. But so Idris Elba plays Luther, obviously. So you're used to Idris Elba. That's, I would say, his most famous role, right?
The Wire.
Oh, right, The Wire. But I'm not a Wire girly, so for me, it's Luther.
You're a boy. You're not a girl. You're a boy. You're a boy. You're a girl. You're not.
I'm a girl, not a boy. But so I'm just used to even in The Wire. No, he's like this tall, striking, muscly. He's sort of like Tom Cruise. He runs fast after the villains. He makes them pay. You don't want to go up against Idris Elba. So then they cast him in Hijack, where he's sitting on a plane and refusing to fight.
Texting.
Well, yeah, he's texting. He's not.
There's a lot of texting in this show.
Yeah. Okay. Go into but the issue was because my husband was like, "Do you want to keep watching this?" I was like, "Hell no! Why? To see them talk some more?" But even the third episode, you don't know why the hijackers are doing what they're doing. Just tell me why you're hijacking the plane at this point.
Your issue is that like Idris Elba is too hot and too much of an action star to be doing this.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
I
agree
don't
with
think
myself.
about this at all.
I agree with
Yet
myself.
I despised my 2 hours watching this show. I only watched 2 episodes. I watched 2 episodes and I am done. I am flat done. This might be one of the most despicable things ever created. In addition to being bad. Like,
wow.
Why can't we make movies? First of all, there's like so many things.
Oh my gosh.
First of all, a corporate mergers and acquisitions negotiator is on a plane that gets hijacked, and he's going to negotiate
his way out.
The resolution.
Yeah.
That's a movie. I have now watched an entire movie of this show. I've watched 2 freaking hours of this show, and nothing has happened. We have no idea who anybody is. I've like spent so much time with the freaking girls soccer team and like these 2 old men on fucking golf vacation. I don't know.
And they keep introducing characters, Brett. They keep introducing them.
Oh my God. We don't know anything about the hijackers. We certainly do not know what they want at all. They are frankly refusing to even engage with anyone who would be able to give them anything they want. I don't know if they want money. I don't know if they want a friend got out of prison.
Can I just say, let me explain one really stupid part. Because I actually love plane set films because they're instantly high stakes. You know, it's only because usually the flight is short because it gets hijacked. So it's like they're either going to land that plane or that's it. That's pretty much the only option. They're not going to crash it anywhere. So you know it's going to be a short, tight film. And I've found in the plane set films, usually they're pretty good with like relatively realistic depictions of how things would go down, like Air Force One or Flight Plan. Okay.
The boarding of this plane is from freaking Candyland.
Okay, that's another thing. But separately from that, and just listen, spoilers for Hijack on Apple TV Plus. The hijackers take over. The pilots are in the cockpit and they have the camera and they're not allowed to let anyone in, right? Unless it's the flight attendants. So something is obviously wrong. The flight attendants let them know. I think at this point they know that like there are hijackers on the plane. And so they bring this one flight attendant up to the pilot phone and are like, let us in. And the flight attendant and the co-pilot are like, no, we can't. Like, it's against our code. Everyone knows you can't let hijackers into the cockpit. Like, that is the stupidest fucking thing you could possibly do. So stupid, so immoral. Every pilot knows that's the last thing you do. But for some reason, this pilot was having an affair with this flight attendant. So they're like, if you don't let us in, we're going to kill her. And he punches his co-pilot, the pilot punches his co-pilot in the face and is like, we got to let her in.
No,
and then they let the hijackers
I wanted to bring this part up. He doesn't just punch his female co-pilot in the face. He takes a metal water bottle and bashes her freaking skull.
Like, he's so crazy.
I was like,
he's disgusting.
I was like, I don't even know who to freaking root for. I'm like, go terrorists on this one because like the pilot is awful.
Psychotic. I mean, how am I supposed to hope that he survives? He's a bad person. First, he's cheating on his wife and family with this flight attendant. Then he puts the entire plane at risk by letting the hijackers in. Well, and then first he punches
he takes a metal water bottle and there's a shot with a dunk as he smashes her on the skull. I mean, she's fine. She's like bloody. She doesn't die.
Bleeding.
But like there's a dunk.
And it's because she wanted to save the plane, and he was like, "No, I gotta save my side piece."
Never open this door.
That was the worst. That was absolutely. I couldn't. After that, I was like, "How am I supposed to take this seriously? How?"
And there's so much with like, it's just so fucking stupid. Everything that happens in this show, like, also like everyone on this plane is way too hot. Like, has anyone ever, and there's too much room on this plane. Has anyone ever been on a plane before? Like, everyone is like fucking mean and ugly and like not talking to each other. And the amount of like, the amount that like random, before the plane even gets hijacked, the amount of like strangers are talking to each other on this plane and like very casually boarding.
Do you think it's because they're British?
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Maybe they do.
I don't know.
Maybe they're not like us in America, where it's like a true battle royale for like, I need to get my away bag in the thing. I cannot have them gate check this bag. I cannot.
I don't know.
An extra 4 minutes. And then in the so a negotiator is on a plane that gets hijacked, and he has to negotiate his way out of it. The first episode, nothing happens, because at the very end, he's like, I'm a negotiator. And we're like, okay, that's the cliffhanger there. And then in the second episode, he continues to not negotiate. Like, why make this an 8-episode, 10-episode television show? Like, nothing happens. The entire second episode, he's like, oh, we got to get the pilot out of there. The pilot has to be over here. Oh, no, the pilot has to be back in there. And then he's just like text messaging with the pilot on one of those like stupid in-chair
like DM
games. Like, there's so much freaking texting in the show. And like, we keep going back to his like ex-wife and his son. It is, I hate the way everyone talks in this. I hate the way everyone looks in this. Like, everyone's like house is like way too nice.
Oh my God, his house is so nice.
On
the ground where his ex-wife lives.
Like, there's more. I don't even want to like spoil it, but like, it's just reprehensible, this show. Like, it's and very, very bad. Too. Like, it's seemingly amoral, which is like the weird thing about it. Like, it would be one thing if it was just a bad action script, which it very much is, but like, nobody does anything. And there's like this morality question of like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, the pilot just beat the shit out of the co-pilot.
I know.
Like, the poor girl who worked in TSA just got fucking murdered for some
reason.
They
just killed her. Like, we thought she was going to be a character.
And then the music in the show is awful, I need to state. Like, there's like these kind of two brutal murders that happen on the ground at the end of the second episode. And it does that thing where it's like really gruesome murder, and then it kind of cuts to the credits, and it has like a very kind of juxtapositionally odd song choice. It has like a very kind of like late 60s up, like kind of groovy. Like, what's the song that's like in the meme right now from Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent? Like, play your own kind of music.
Oh yeah, that one.
It's like a song very much like that plays like right as these people are getting murdered. And you're like, why is there this juxtaposition between the tone of the music and like the nature of the murders we just watched? It didn't align with the tone of the show at all. So I'm just calling the show like completely without morals at all, and it doesn't even know what perspective it wants. It was very troubling, and I hate it. Concerning. I'm troubled. I'm troubled.
Yeah, I agree. I had to stop watching. You know, it's rare to find a show that you and your significant other can both agree to sit down and watch together as like a long form, like we're committed to doing this together. And I was really hoping this would be that for us, because we both love Idris and Luther, but I couldn't bear it. I was like, I can't watch people be so stupid in a scripted show. That's why I watch unscripted TV, you know?
It's one of my issues too with a lot of like mystery box, like sci-fi shows. And, you know, there's a flavor of this calling back to Lost or something like that. But like, I hate in shows where like there's like a mystery going on, a supernatural or otherwise, and nobody talks to each other. And it's like, you know, two cops are talking in a diner and they're like, who's done all these murders? We don't have time for that now. It's like, we have plenty of time.
There's so much time, and that's the problem. All of the passengers in Hijack stop respecting the hijackers because it's like, yeah, we've been with you for hours at this point. You haven't killed anyone, so why should I do what you want? Like, they completely lose any sense of urgency because it's such a long, drawn out show.
Danielle, if you and I were like in a haunted house and you were like, "Oh my God, how do we get out of here?" And I'm like, "We don't have time for this right now."
Right.
Like, which is a completely normal response in a procedural sci-fi mystery like television show. And it's like, what? We got plenty of time. We're all trying to get the fuck out of here. Why are you being coy? Why are you holding shit back?
Exactly.
Like, basic information back.
Explain stuff to me. I do want to say, Matt May in the comments also said, in the episode this week of Hijack, a list of demands reveals who's behind the hijacking. That's
episode
in episode 5.
A list of demands? We're more than halfway through the show and we finally learn.
But wait, Brett.
What the hijackers want?
It'd be so amazing if the list of demands were like, we demand that the Corporation A has a merger with Corporation B, and like Luther's there to be like, this is what I'm good at. We hated it. We hated it, folks. We hated it.
There is a chance that like the actual progression of the plot and things that happen in the second half of the show is interesting, but it will have taken so long to get there that no one's going to know. And like just the tone of the show, it's not very funny. I mean, Idris Elba's a good actor, but like I wouldn't call like the rest of the acting particularly memorable or anything. It's just like by the time we get there, just make a fucking movie. Jesus. Red Eye.
Ugh, the best. The best. Speaking of
Con Air.
Yeah.
The prisoners hijacked the plane.
It's so good. It's so good. And they play Sweet Home Alabama and we love it.
Oh my God, yes.
And they even make a self-referential comment about playing Sweet Home Alabama while on a plane that could crash. Obviously Air Force One, get off my plane. Yes. So yeah, we don't recommend watching that. Apple TV is really on a freaking dud, especially since Platonic, which I loved, ended this week.
Speaking of, can I take the segue?
Please do.
Speaking of Seth Rogen, Jonah Hill was in the news this week.
Yeah. Was he ever? So what happened is, may I?
You may.
So Jonah Hill, I learned a lot of, much like Colleen Ballinger / Miranda Sings, I learned a lot about this sort of against my will because I don't really care about Jonah Hill. I
Be
can't
funny in movies and leave me alone.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not a huge fan. I tried watching his Netflix movie actually with Julia Louis-Dreyfus as his mom, and it was him, and then Eddie Murphy was.
That movie's supposed to be reprehensible as well.
Like, it's unbelievably bad.
A true step back in terms of like race relations in the United States.
So it's horrible, horrible, horrible. But I was like,
I've heard about it. It's like he's engaged to a woman, and Eddie Murphy's her father.
Yes.
I forget the name. Yeah, but it's like, oh, a white guy is dating a black girl. Is like that's the whole conceit of the movie, and like there's a bunch of like really weird racial.
And they had to.
Which
they had to special effects the kiss because they couldn't even kiss each other because
I don't support
you people is what it's called. Thanks, Matt May. But in the movie, I was like, I can't believe they made this fucking movie, cast it, they filmed it as if these two have any chemistry together. A movie like this is about two people who, against all odds, like my family's so different from yours, but I'm so in love with you that we need to find a way to make this work. And these two. It was honestly like watching like two people in Uber pool, like the whole time. Like they just happened to be together.
Jonah Hill's a good actor. I wouldn't necessarily cast him as a romantic lead.
Well, that was sort of, they kind of like touch on it, I guess. They kind of have to, but like it's not good. Anyway, going back to Jonah Hill's real life. So that's the last thing I remember seeing Jonah Hill in. And I wasn't into it. I did not finish this film. But so Jonah Hill's ex-girlfriend, who is a surfer, released a bunch of text messages, sort of like as an act, I think, to let people know this is what he does to girlfriends. Like they were in I don't know how long, but they were in a long-term relationship.
So they were only together for like a year or so.
That's long-term though. A year, I would say at a year, that's long-term.
If I'm involved in it, like literally like 12 weeks is long-term.
Yeah, so that's good enough. She released these texts where he's basically like, speaking of list of demands, that's what we should have gotten. That's when we should have done the segue. Episode 5.
Speaking of list of demands, the hijackers in Hijack don't have any, but Jonah Hill does of his ex-girlfriend.
So it was like it was like, don't hang out with, don't take
I have it. I'll read it.
Okay, you read it. Read it for word for word. Sure.
It says, he says, plain and simple, : if you need : and now these are all have a little dash next to them, like there's a list. It's a bulleted list
of demands.
Oh no. Yeah, here we go. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate friendships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in a bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendships with women who are in unstable places and from your wild recent past beyond getting a lunch or coffee or something respectful, I am not the right partner for you. If these things bring you to a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. And then she has screen capped this and posted this, it looks like on Instagram stories, and her text above it says, fuck it. See the misuse of the term boundaries. There's more, but that's the
gist.
The
that's like
that's the entree.
Yeah,
that's the full rack of ribs.
That's the spicy meatball. And so it started like a huge conversation. This got people up in arms.
No, there's no Big Brother going on. There's nothing to talk about.
Exactly. We need something to talk about. Yeah. And so I kind of tried to actually ignore this for a while because I was like, I don't want to know about Jonah Hill's personal life. I just like, that whole group of guys, like Jonah Hill, Seth Rogen, like you said. Yeah, Franco. Oh God, I don't want to know about, I know it's bad. When they show up in a movie, great. But hearing about this, I was like, interesting. I found it very interesting that it really hit the zeitgeist. People really wanted to discuss this because if you look at it on its face, you're like, all right, he's a bad boyfriend. Like you should probably not be with this person because he's telling you to not do things that, like, she's a surfer. It sounds like she makes money modeling as well, right? So she's going to do that. She's going to be in her bikini pics. She's going to be hanging out with people of the opposite gender. She's going to be, if she has girlfriends from her wild and crazy past, then and she wants to hang out with them, she should. Yeah. I mean, so to me, I'm like, yeah, it sounds like he's not a good boyfriend. He was not right for you. Definitely some manipulation going on. And I think it's good that this relationship is over. That's sort of what I got from this. But it really opened up a can of worms in terms of like men using therapy speak to manipulate the term boundaries and how it's used.
Not all bad. Is it possible that it seems like he kind of sucks, but I don't know. This is not okay. Yeah, it sounds like he sucks. Like once you start telling people who you can and can't hang out with,
that's whatever. Red flag.
I actually, maybe I'm wrong here, because there has been a conversation in the last year or so. Like I've seen lots of tweets about this, TikToks about this, of like people weaponizing therapy speak. I've seen it in my own life. I've seen people weaponize therapy speak, or just like say, well, this is my boundary, and kind of not really understand what like the consequences of setting that up. Or they might talk in therapy in like this very therapized speech about someone else's behavior towards them, but they do not understand at all how they are behaving towards that other person, and like the same active triggers upon them, they are performing on other people, and they don't have enough self-awareness to notice that. So there's definitely a conversation around that. Jonah Hill making a list of stupid, horrible, bad boyfriend demands, bad. Just dump the person. Don't text them. Like, if you've been with someone for a year, why are you texting them a list of like stupid shit? Why can't you FaceTime or see them face to face and be like, I don't want to date you anymore?
I think that probably touches on the nuances of the convo, though. It's because, like,
I don't know, but him saying like, these are my boundaries, it didn't for me feel like a total like weaponization of therapy speak. He just said, these are my boundaries. I wish you all the best. If like they're not what you're, he says, like, if this brings you happiness, I want that for you, and we shouldn't be together, or something to that effect. For me, it felt like people were spinning their wheels over, like, oh, well, let's cancel Jonah Hill over this thing. Yeah, maybe a little bit. It doesn't seem like a bunch of this kind of didn't feel totally right and like totally squishy and comfy and like something I want to cuddle with. But him saying like, oh, these are my boundaries and I don't want to be with you, was like, didn't feel like a total like freaking weaponization, weapons of mass destruction, like of therapy speak. That feels like a little bit,
it's like
too much for my characterization, but I could very much be wrong.
I think it's like bad, like manipulation, bad. We all agree. Especially manipulating. I think she's younger than him, and that's of course probably the type of gal he's going after.
Yeah, I think she's like 25
doing it
or something like that, and he's I think a little bit older than us.
I think what I imagine her point was like, I want to help any other young girl he's going to go after and do this with, to be like, just be on the lookout for this. So I'm putting myself in like, she's doing it from a good place, right? And like, it did start this conversation about manipulation in a relationship.
Granted, I've read like 2 articles about this and I've seen the screen caps. Like, I'm failing to see manipulation here. It seems like 2 people who kind of had a spicy breakup. Like,
well, that's my thing.
Him saying, I don't want to date a model, can both be like a weird line to draw about like someone's career that doesn't feel
that's what she's already doing.
And it also can be like, I don't like, if he legitimately is like, I just can't envision myself being like happy and healthy with someone who's a model. Like,
don't date a model. Don't date a surfer.
Yeah, like, I think it's fair for him to say that. Like, I don't know how we got a year into this relationship.
Exactly.
And no,
I don't think it is fair. Yeah. I actually don't think it is fair if that's who you're dating.
Exactly. So, like, I'm not saying that he's like, we need to defend him or anything. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. If someone's like, I don't want to date a firefighter. My dad was a firefighter. My uncle was a firefighter. He passed away. My dog was eaten by a fire. I don't know. Like, something is like troubling you. You don't want to date that. Like, I'm dating. I wouldn't say that there's like a career that I would not want to date. I haven't thought about it that much, but there are qualities that I'm like, you know what? This is kind of like a deal breaker quality for me. Just by reading this person's bio, there's deal breaker qualities that I'm not going to want to date them because of how they live their life, or even stuff like this. I live in freaking LA. I live in the West Coast. Every other dating profile is like, we need to go hiking and camping every weekend. It's like, no,
thank you.
I want to see Mission Impossible and Charlie Chocolate and Barbie'd every weekend.
Oh my gosh, we're not going to get to Wonka, but
like, so there's qualities you can say, I don't want to date this person. That's not bad. That's just you knowing, like, hey, what you like, what they like isn't gonna line up. So, but
the issue is that he willingly actually does want to date those girls. He actually does want to date a bikini model babe. He wants to date someone. Like, the problem was, and this I totally see, and there was like this excerpt from Trevor Noah's book that I guess that really speaks to this. That really speaks to this, where it's like, actually a lot of guys do want to date those like really outgoing, flirty with all the guys, like wearing a bikini, have a ton of friends, like spark plugs of women. The issue is then they start dating them, and if those women are still doing that, they're like, wait, you're not allowed to be like that anymore. Like,
that is manipulative.
That's the problem. That's why that's what sucks about him. That's when, because the Trevor Noah thing is like, is like why do men see like a beautiful bird and then want to put them in a cage? Right? Something like that. He wrote it much more beautiful.
No, that's smart. And that's actually that's a really wonderful point that I think I was like probably ignoring or like dancing around. Like if that's how she was, and then he's like trying to change her or whatever, like fuck that. I'll be clear, that is being manipulative. So like that is bad. So I'm not trying to come. I read it, I was like, what are we like blowing up about this? Like I'm not trying to defend Jonah Hill. It seemed like he wanted to state what his boundaries were, but if his boundaries are a complete like 180 flip of like who this person was and who she was in their relationship for a year plus or whatever, and he's trying to like make her a good girl or whatever. I
think that's a very common thing. And like the issue is it's common, and you'd think of it, you put it into a very extreme box where you think it's like maybe it's only a super conservative guy who'd be like, well, my wife has to stay at home and raise the kids and do the
dinner every
day.
Exactly.
So that's the box you think of that person is. But that person can also be a very liberal Hollywood star who should be okay with like a girlfriend wearing a bikini or whatever, modeling, like, and they are, but then they want to lock her up. So like that's the issue.
But her text messages, Danielle, I know we're out of time, but you got to tell me about Adrian Brody.
Oh, I mean, it's really a bigger conversation.
Oh, we'll save Adrian Brody for next week.
And I just want to say this right now. I believe this is short. The Wonka trailer came out starring Timothée Chalamet. I believe this movie will ruin Timothée Chalamet's career.
I don't think so, because he's got Dune 2 coming on. I don't think it's going to ruin his career, but I think it's going to be like a mid flop. I was ready to dunk on this movie, and it was like almost so milquetoast that I was like, oh, I don't even feel.
It's for children, I understand, but his performance really looks unfortunate.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's nothing. It's a nothing. Like I wish it were like bad in a deranged and showy way.
Like Tedros.
Like Tetris.
But it's not. Why couldn't The Weeknd play Willy Wonka?
He's a freak, yeah.
Well, just putting that out there, we'll see. It's a December release. So next week we're going to be able to talk about.
I'm not seeing it.
Well, I might see it.
Oh, you have a child, yeah.
Next week we're going to be able
to talk about. To see Wonka. Is that going to be her first film?
No. I'm going to see that privately. I don't know what her first film is going to be. It better be good. I don't want to ruin it for her. So we're going to know who the Bachelor is next week when we talk. The Golden Bachelor.
Oh, they're going to announce who it is?
This week, I think. Yeah, on the 17th. Okay.
Oh, I thought they were going to announce like, hey, we're doing it.
They already did.
Oh, okay. We'll know that. I mean, Danielle, do you think when we pod next, it will be July 20 something, 2 weeks before the Big Brother season? We're not going to have any Big Brother news this week.
No. Shouldn't we, though? I heard it's live moving.
The premiere is 2 weeks from Wednesday.
Yeah. So shouldn't we get the cast very soon?
People should be going in sequester soon this week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe we find out the cast
next week.
Maybe they didn't announce the cast like that. You know, it's like the premiere's on a Wednesday, maybe on like Monday or Tuesday they announce the cast. I mean, they always now like this era of Big Brother, they're always like, here's the cast. Jason is no longer on Big Brother 25. We apologize to anyone we have hurt for including Jason.
Yeah, they got to cut. They don't do enough due diligence.
Yeah.
We'll see. I hope it's exciting. I don't know.
Who was the guy with long hair from last year?
What was it? I don't know. Or Christy got COVID.
Marvin will be on Big Brother 24. He's also on American Idol this season. Oh, never mind.
Okay, yeah.
Marvin has a 7-picture deal on Paramount.
Marvin is actually Tyler Sheridan's screenwriter. He writes all those shows.
Oh wow.
All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening, for your questions and comments. I mean, we did get some. We didn't answer any of them.
No, we didn't. Do you want to talk? Do you want to keep
going?
Yeah,
I do.
In the comments, Matt May 81. Any sphere thoughts from being in Vegas? This crazy thing. Not the 1998 Dustin Hoffman movie, but open to thoughts on that too. I heard it's different to see RL versus videos or photos because it's crazily high def. I have not seen Sphere, the film Sphere. I'm very aware of it. He is talking about the MSG Sphere. Right. In Las Vegas, it is a new performance venue just outside of the strip. It's like maybe 6,000 or 7,000 seat performance venue with a giant 360-degree LED screen around it that just plays wacky shit all day long. I
love it.
I was in Vegas last week. I was actually at a hotel very close. If my hotel room were facing the north, I would have had the eyeball of the sphere glaring into my bedroom each night.
I loved the eyeball.
I was pretty close. It's cool. Like from afar, it looks really cool. It is really bright, and it was wild to see it. I was a couple miles away from it at one point, and it was just like this huge bright thing that like you could still see very clearly what it was. It was wild actually getting up close to it. I tried to take some pictures and videos, and it was so bright, like my phone actually wasn't able to focus right, and it was really washed, like the exposure was really washed out and you couldn't see it. So I would just say it's wild how far away you can be from this thing and make out very clearly what it is. Getting up closer, you do kind of begin to see the individual pixels and stuff, but it's so unbelievably bright. Like, yeah, no, it's really cool. People are going to get into car accidents looking at it if they haven't already. It's really cool. I want to see a show there. I mean, there is a full enclosed structure inside of the sphere. That is where the theater is. No, it's cool as hell. It's another cool thing.
I think it's cool as hell too. Yeah. I love it, and I love.
We've just had the pyramid. We've just had the pyramid for the last 30 years. Get the eyeball there.
I think they should keep the eyeball up for a while. I mean, I was trying to think of other things to put on that sphere, and I'm like, what could top the eye? I think someone tweeted like a boob.
Hey Julie live stream.
Yeah, the Hey Julie live stream. I don't know, but I absolutely love it. I think we need more over the top creations like that in Vegas, of all places. Like, that's the place for it. Absolutely. I give it 2 thumbs up. 2 eyeballs wide open.
With eyes wide open.
Thank you all for your questions, your comments, your attention on the Discord. We will be back next week. You can tweet at us at HeyJulieBB on Twitter.com. We're not going to Threads. We talked about it last week. We're not going there.
Yeah, you don't have a toe in the Zuckerberg pool, in the Zuckerberg
No, and I'm
universe.
not getting in there.
Yeah, and I've been on Threads, and let me tell you, like, there's nothing going on there. Like, it was fun the first day because it was fun dancing on Elon's little toy car.
Right.
But now it's just like, it's brands being like, what's your favorite color?
But you can.
It's horrible, yeah.
It sucks. You can also email us, heyjulie@gmail.com. Hey Julie.
Email never does.
Wait, but it's Hey Julie Big Brother at
Hey Julie Big Brother at gmail.com. What did you say?
I said Hey Julie at email.com.
At email.com. We should get email.com.
Thank you all so much for being here. I'm sweating. It's so hot. You can see me glistening. People should be watching the live stream to see me sweating like a pig on this live stream. Thank you all so much for being here. We'll see you next week. Bye, Julie.
Bye, Julie.